stand so tall with the weight of the world on your shoulders. Don't let them break you. I'll never let them break through. I'll never tell them that. You stand so tall with the weight of the world on your shoulders. Spaced out thinking why I try so hard to fit these circles into squares. You stand so tall. Don't let them break you. The only one you can trust. Don't spill your secrets to me. You stand so tall. Don't let them break you. The only one you can trust. Don't spill your secrets to me.
Welcome to Plush Combat.
So this is the Mortal Kombat parody. Yes. And the movie doesn't even come out until a week. But it's still cool to do in order to celebrate the release of the movie. Tails has a point. Indeed he does. I'm a katana main. I mean Melina. Those are some good picks. I play as Noob Saibot. That is totally expected seeing you are an edgelord. Noob Saibot is just resurrected Sub-Zero. Yeah, but the new Sub-Zero is Kuai Liang.
While everyone is excited, we needed 2 more characters for this tournament, so I am going to regret this, but Bowser and Bowser Jr. will be participating.
Finally, we have our moment to shine. Yeah, he finally let us out. Are you serious? That is a terrible idea, Mack. Why would you do this?
I did this just to keep things even, but don't worry, if they lose, they will be back in the Godzilla x Kong, the new Empire popcorn bucket.
I guess that's a relief. Yeah. So one of us that isn't Bowser or Bowser Jr. will have to win. We can't let them win this tournament. Avoid that at all costs. They probably wouldn't even make it to the semifinals. Pollo, Pika, Squirtle, Eevee, Daddy, Rookie. Don't let them win at all. Competing at all, they shouldn't be. Agree? I do. We will definitely stop that from happening. Indeed. We will stay true to that word. We don't need that to happen again, like in the Mack's Amazing World of Plush movie. We know. Oh. That was terrible.
It's okay. We'll just kick their butts again.
Agreed. We did it once. We could do it again.
Toby will help with that. Due to not having a budget to perform any of the crazy fatalities, as well as this series being more PG in tone, we won't be able to perform a fatality on Bowser or Bowser Jr.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is known for its graphic violence. That's what made them came up with the ESRB rating system for video games. If we can't pull off fatalities, then why are we even parodying Mortal Kombat? Where's the fun in Mortal Kombat without the blood and gore? This is just a thing to celebrate the upcoming release of Mortal Kombat 2 coming out this month. This ain't really anything to take serious because it's a Plush series. So that means Freddy won't recreate his fatality where it's just a recreation of that one scene where he kills Johnny Depp through that bed. Pretty much. I love that scene. Also, his character's name is Glenn. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe didn't have any gore. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe bad. Very bad. That was the first and only Mortal Kombat game to be rated T for teen. It sucked. We're doing all the talk about that. Like how we don't talk about mythology, Sub-Zero, or Special Forces. We only talk about the mainline Mortal Kombat games that isn't Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. Although MK vs. DC sucked, the two Injustice games were really good. Plus, they also had Scorpion in the first game.
I also can't forget about Sub-Zero and Raiden in the second.
Also, me and my brothers were guest stars in that game. We knew all about that. That was cool. I'm pretty sure that broke the internet. It was crazy. Well, I'm ready for this tournament to start.
Meow.
Then let's get this show on the road. We start round 1 with Mario vs. Luigi.
You ain't ready, bro. You are the one that's not ready.
Fight.
Wahoo! Wow!
Mario wins. Now get ready for Sonic vs. Tails.
Are you ready for this?
You won't be.
Fight.
Yeah? Come on, step it up.
Sonic wins. Now it's time for Yoshi vs. Knuckles.
I'm sorry for what's about to happen, Yoshi. Fight.
Yoshi wins. Now it's time for Blue Yoshi vs. Princess Peach.
You are going down, Princess.
No, you are.
Fight.
Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Jump!
Blue Yoshi wins. Now it's time for Amy Rose versus Toad.
You are not a fun guy. I am very much a fun guy.
Fight.
Amy Rose wins. Now it's time for Shadow versus Rosalina.
Let's get this over with. Don't rush this, Shadow. Fight.
Shadow wins. Now it's time for Donkey Kong versus Diddy Kong.
I can't believe it's come to this.
Don't worry, DK. We must not let Bowser or Bowser Jr. win.
Fight. Can't believe I'm doing this to my own buddy.
Donkey Kong wins. Now it's time for Bowser versus Bowser Jr.
Why am I fighting my own son? Doesn't matter. I'll win this. Fight. No.
Bowser wins, so back to the popcorn bucket with you, Bowser Jr.
Done.
Now it's time for Koopa Troopa versus Shy Guy.
Bowser has already won a match.
And we can't let him win another.
Fight. Stay off me, Shy Guy.
Koopa Troopa wins. Now it's time for Sonic Boom Sonic versus Link.
Remember not to let Bowser win. I know. Fart. Too easy. Piece of cake.
Sonic Boom Sonic wins. Now it's time for Zelda versus Toon Link.
Looks like Link will be the only Link to lose.
No, I will be the only one to win.
Fart.
Zelda wins. Now it's time for Toon Zelda versus Mega Man.
Zelda won't be the only Zelda to get this far. She will be the only one. Super Mega Buster. Fart. Super Mega Buster.
Toon Zelda wins. Now it's time for X versus Kirby.
This will be interesting. Fine. Fart.
Yeah.
Super Mega Buster.
Yeah.
X wins. Now it's time for Pikachu versus Jigglypuff.
Pika. Chicken.
Fart.
Pikachu wins. Now it's time for Pichu versus Squirtle.
Bang. Squirtle. Fart. Bang. Squirtle. Squirt. Squirtle. Bang.
Pichu wins. Now it's time for Eevee versus Deadeen.
Eevee. Daddy. Fart. Daddy. Daddy. Eevee.
Eevee wins. Now it's time for Grookey versus Lugia.
Grookey. Fort. Okay.
Grookey.
Grookey wins. Now it's time for Detective Pikachu versus Yoda Stitch.
Hope we have a fun tournament. Fart. Pikachu! Quick attack!
Detective Pikachu wins. Now it's time for Grogu versus R2-D2.
Fight here. I must. Fort.
Grogu wins. Now it's time for Chewbacca versus Darth Vader.
Get wrecked. Fart. No.
Chewbacca wins. Now it's time for Kylo Ren versus Rocket Raccoon.
Are you ready for this? I am. Are you? Fart.
Kylo Ren wins. Now it's time for Jack Skellington versus Sally.
I really hate having to do this. So do I. Fart. Oh. Oh.
Jack Skellington wins. Now it's time for Zero versus Mayor.
I can't fight a dog. Fart.
Zero wins. Now it's time for Stitch versus Marshmallow.
Perman, leave my mother out of this. Fart. Ah. 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 Ah.
Stitch wins. Now it's time for Harry Potter versus Dobby.
Get ready, Dobby.
Dobby is ready.
Fart. Huh. Stupid fart. Stupid fart. Stupid fart.
Harry Potter wins. Now it's time for Hedwig versus Gizmo.
Come on, bro.
Fart.
Hedwig wins. Now it's time for Marty McFly versus Doc Brown.
I'm sorry about this, Doc. It's okay, Marty. Fart. Huh. Oh, good Scott. Huh. Whoa. That was heavy.
Marty McFly wins. Now it's time for Stay Puft Marshmallow Man versus Stay Puft Marshmallow Mini.
I hate having to do this to you, son, but it has to happen. Really? Are you really gonna beat up your own son? Fart. Stay down. No, said stay down.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man wins. Now it's time for Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman versus Slimer.
You won't slime me. Ah! Fart. Ah!
Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman wins. Now it's time for Freddy Krueger versus Michael Myers.
Welcome to prime time, punk. Fight. You ain't got it, boy.
Freddy Krueger wins. Now it's time for Ghostface versus Chucky.
Really? I could punt this guy like a football. I would like to see you try. For it. Punted you like a football.
Ghostface wins. Now it's time for Beetlejuice versus Lydia Dietz.
Oh, I really don't want to fight you. But I do. For it. Hey, stop it. Oh, the lady's crazy. Huh. Okay.
Beetlejuice wins. Now it's time for Bob versus Baby Beetlejuice.
For it.
Bob wins. Now it's time for Coraline Jones versus Frankenstein's monster.
Now, this one will be a hard one to get through. No, it won't. For it. Stay off.
Coraline Jones wins. Now it's time for The Bride of Frankenstein versus Dracula.
You won't have my blood. Yes, I will. For it. No. Go away. Power of Christ compels you.
The Bride of Frankenstein wins. Now it's time for The Wolfman versus the creature from the Black Lagoon.
You will be defeated. No, I won't. For it.
The Wolfman wins. Now it's time for The Mummy versus the Invisible Man.
Your soul will be mine. I would like to say you try. For it.
The Mummy wins. Now it's time for Bob Ross versus Leonardo.
Prepare to take my happy little paintbrush. Are you gonna beat the devil out of me? For it. Happy little paintbrush. To this. There are no mistakes, just only happy little accidents.
Bob Ross wins. Now it's time for Raphael versus Donatello.
Are you ready for this? Yeah. For it. Oh. Oh.
Raphael wins. Now it's time for Michelangelo versus Master Splinter.
I get to take down my own sensei. You don't even have the guts. For it. Yeah. Party, dudes.
Michelangelo wins. Now it's time for Bebop versus Rocksteady.
I hate to do this to you, bro. So do I, babes. For it. That actually hurt, man.
Bebop wins. Now it's time for Alf versus Tennessee Bear.
Never thought I would fight a bear. And I'm fighting an alien. Fort. Huh. 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 Yeah.
Alf wins. Now it's time for Miss Whiskers versus Pudding.
Meow.
Fort.
Wow. Wow. Ah.
Miss Whiskers wins. Now it's time for Tammy versus Jeff.
Fort.
Tammy wins. Now we start round 2 with Mario versus Yoshi.
I hate having to do this to you, Yoshi. Fort.
Oh. Ah. Oh. Yahoo.
Mario wins. Now it's time for Sonic versus Blue Yoshi.
One dinosaur down, 2 more to go. You ain't taking down this dino. Fort. Yeah. 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 Too easy.
Sonic wins. Now it's time for Amy Rose versus Shadow.
Time for me to take down this head.
Don't patronize me. Fort. Ugh.
Oh, hey. Knock it off. Told you not to mess with me.
Amy Rose wins. Now it's time for Donkey Kong versus Bowser.
You'll be done for. No, you will. Fort. Yeah.
Donkey Kong wins, so you know what this means for Bowser. Back to the popcorn bucket with you.
Oh, come on.
Now it's time for Koopa Troopa versus Sonic Boom Sonic.
Get ready for a beatdown. Oh, I'm ready, alright. Fort. Huh? Huh?
Koopa Troopa wins. Now it's time for Zelda versus Toon Zelda.
I'm the best Zelda. No, I am. Fort. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Zelda wins. Now it's time for X versus Pikachu.
Time for me to take down a yellow rat.
Pika Pika.
Fort. Pikachu. Ah, I ain't done yet. Super Mega Buster.
Pika Pika.
X wins. Now it's time for Pichu versus Eevee.
Pam. Eevee.
Fort.
Pam. Eevee, 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 Eevee. Pizza. Eevee, Eevee, Eevee.
Pichu wins. Now it's time for Grookey versus Detective Pikachu.
Porky, you didn't do anything to deserve this, but I have to do this. Pikachu!
Grookey. Grookey.
Grookey wins. Now it's time for Grogu versus Chewbacca.
Fight you. I will. Fight.
Grogu wins. Now it's time for Kylo Ren versus Jack Skellington.
I got a bone to pick with you. That was a terrible pun. Fight.
Kylo Ren wins. Now it's time for Zero versus Stitch.
Nice body. Fight.
Zero wins. Now it's time for Harry Potter versus Hedwig.
I hate having to do this to my own owl. Fight. Hey, stupefy. Stupefy. Stupefy.
Harry Potter wins. Now it's time for Marty McFly versus Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
This is heavy. No, it's not. Fight. That really was heavy.
Marty McFly wins. Now it's time for Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman versus Freddy Krueger.
Looks like I'm the only Stay Puft Marshmallow person remaining.
And I will make a s'more out of the last one. Ha 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 ha. Fight. I refuse to be made a s'more out of.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman wins. Now it's time for Ghostface versus Beetlejuice.
I will gut you like a fish.
I'm a ghost. You can't do that. Fight.
Come on. Well, if you're a ghost, then how am I being able to punch you? No, stay down.
Ghostface wins. Now it's time for Bob versus Coraline.
I'm fighting a guy with a shrunken head.
Fight.
Hey, stay away.
Bob wins. Now it's time for the Bride of Frankenstein versus the Wolfman.
Time to put the mutt down. I will maul you.
Fight.
No. Stay down.
The Bride of Frankenstein wins. Now it's time for the Mummy versus Bob Ross.
I will have your soul for all eternity.
I will beat the devil out of you. You understand me?
Fight.
Happy little paintbrush. Happy little paintbrush.
The Mummy wins. Now it's time for Raphael versus Michelangelo.
I will be the best turtle. No, I will. Fight.
God, train
better than that, Mikey.
Raphael wins. Now it's time for Bebop versus Alf.
Hey look, I get to fight an alien. And I get to fight a warthog. Fort. Huh? Hey. Alright, stay down, boy.
Bebop wins. Now it's time for Miss Whiskers versus Tammy.
Meow.
Fort.
Miss Whiskers wins. Now we start round 3 with Mario versus Amy Rose.
Two more hedgehogs to get out of the way.
You wish.
Fort.
Whoa! Whoa! Yo! Yo!
Mario wins. Now it's time for Sonic versus Donkey Kong.
This will go bananas. That's a terrible pun there, Sonic. Fort.
Sonic wins. Now it's time for Koopa Troopa versus Zelda.
You had a good run, but it must end.
It will be your run that will be ending.
Fort.
Koopa Troopa wins. Now it's time for X versus Pichu.
I hope you're ready, Pichu.
Bam!
Fort.
Bam! Bam!
I can do that too. Super Mega Buster.
Bam! Bam!
X wins. Now it's time for Grookey versus Grogu.
Okay. Beat you. I will.
Fort.
Oh.
Grookey wins. Now it's time for Kylo Ren versus Zero.
How am I supposed to fight a ghost dog? Fort.
Kylo Ren wins. Now it's time for Harry Potter versus Marty McFly.
This will be easy. Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Fort.
Ah. Ah.
Stupefy. Stupefy. Stupefy.
Harry Potter wins. Now it's time for Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman versus Ghostface.
You are more annoying than those scammers I call about my car's extended warranty. I don't even compare to those losers. Fort.
Ah.
Well, stay down or I will gut you like a fish.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman wins. Now it's time for Bob versus the Bride of Frankenstein.
We're going down. Fort.
Bob wins. Now it's time for the Mummy versus Raphael.
Your soul is mine. I'd like to see you try. Fart. Huh? Oh.
The Mummy wins. Now it's time for Bebop versus Miss Whiskers.
Here, kitty, kitty. Meow. Fart. Meow. Hey. Watch it. Bad kitty. Bad.
Bebop wins. Now we start round 4 with Mario versus Koopa Troopa.
Time to step on the Koopa again. Oh no. Fart. Oh. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Mario wins. Now it's time for Sonic versus X.
Ready to be turned into scrap? No, because I'm gonna win. Fart. Ah. Go. Super Mega Buster.
Sonic wins. Now it's time for Grookey versus Kylo Ren.
Gorky. I will not lose. Fart. Gorky. Gorky.
Grookey wins. Now it's time for Harry Potter versus Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman.
I'm fighting a marshmallow. And that marshmallow is gonna be the one to win. Forward. Stupefy. 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 Stupefy.
Harry Potter wins. Now it's time for Bob versus the Mummy.
Your soul will be mine. Fart.
Bob wins. Now we start round 5 with Mario versus Grookey.
I gotta be the one alive. Grookey. Fart. Grookey.
Mario wins. Now it's time for Sonic versus Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry. Stop referencing that meme. Fart. Ah. Stupefy. Yeah. Ah. Stupefy. Yeah.
Sonic wins. Now it's time for Bob versus Bebop.
You are going down. Fart. Stay down, Willie.
Bob wins. Now, before we go to the final round, we will have a bonus round with Sonic versus Bob.
Come on, step it up. Look. Whoa. Look. Yeah.
Sonic wins. Now we have the final round with Mario vs. Sonic.
I will just win again. Dream on, buddy. Fart. Ah. Uh. Yeah. Ah. Ah.
And Sonic wins. Good night, everybody.
Congrats. Thanks, man. It was a good one. You did great.
Yeah.
Kind of cool that Mario didn't win this time. Yeah, Mario is the one to usually win.
The tables have turned. I like how Sonic won.
Of course you would! Because you have a crush on him. Don't embarrass her like that. That's not cool, man.
Yeah.
At least you'll let us out this episode.
Yeah, but it'd be a lot more cool if it was more permanent.
Don't even think about it.
We're not letting you out.
So shut up. I still had fun. So did I.
We should do another tournament.
Maybe, yeah, but maybe not one that has ties to Mortal Kombat. We have the Smash tournament coming up in September. Yeah, that is true.
Mario. Pika. Big.
Squirtle.
Eevee.
Daddy.
Rookie.
Good game, guys.
Excited for the Smash tournament. So am I.
I should have won that tournament. No, I should have. You guys are sore losers. I had fun. So did I. I most certainly had a fun time.
Good times.
I didn't even make it past the first round.
I made it pretty good.
Toby wishes he could have lasted longer. I lost a round.
I lost to a wizard.
If it makes you feel any better, I lost to you.
I had to find my own son. We know. I still had fun.
Ah! I even beat Michael. He's still speechless. He never spoke, you moron. That was crazy.
It was.
It was a little fun. Very fun. Agreed. It was very good. Agreed. I didn't take any souls. You must be a sore loser. I managed to beat the devil out of people. Now we must train for the Smash tournament. I'm gonna beat all of you at this tournament.
No, I will.
No, I'm the one that's gonna win. You will have to see about that. You are old, so you are not winning. Bring it on! I think I'm gonna win. I think we should get ready for the Steven Spielberg episode.